Hello, foodies and culinary adventurers. In the land down under, the land of the maple leaf, and even the high-tech haven of Japan, they're giving the good old American milk the side eye. Why? Because it's got a dose of rBGH, a growth hormone that turns cows into milk-making machines. And that's not all. In the EU, they're saying no gracias to prepackaged ground beef. Why? Because it's got a little something extra. A little something extra they call pink slime. I'm talking about a meaty mystery field treated with ammonia gas. And there's even more. Ever heard of chlorine-washed chicken? Sounds like a pool party going wrong, doesn't it? Well, over in the EU, they're not too keen on chicken taking a bath or taking a dip in a chlorine bath before it hits the shelves. Can't blame them, really. But why is it allowed in the US? Great question, right? We'll get back to that. Also in Europe, Russia and China, they're giving the good old oink to Ractopamine-Treated Prok from the US. Why? Because those American piggies are pumped up on growth hormones. And last but not least, genetically modified meat. It's like the black sheep of the European Union's dinner table. They've got strict rules about GMOs, so unless the meat has gone through a rigorous approval process, it's a no-go in the land of baguettes and bratwursts. So bon appetit if you dare. America, what the food, man? Hormone-treated beef. The European Union has banned the import of beef treated with growth hormones. Hormone-treated beef can even be called beef with an identity crisis, banned from the European Union like it's the outlaw of the pasta. This ban has been a source of tension between the EU and countries like the United States, where hormone-treated beef is commonly used. The EU and the US are having a beef about beef. It's like a culinary soap opera. Cow's milk in the US, banned in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Japan, and the EU. Why? Because it's got rBGH. Cow milk produced in the United States are by dairy cows that are fed with a synthetic man-made growth hormone to increase milk production. rBGH, also known as recombinant bovine growth hormone, in 1993 was approved by the FDA, allowing companies to produce large amounts of cheaper milk. Cows treated with rBGH produce milk that contains elevated levels of insulin-like growth factor IFG-1, which can increase the risk of several cancer types, including breast cancer. Thankfully, since 2014, this practice has decreased. U.S. prepackaged ground beef, banned in the European Union. Why? Because of pink slime. If you live in the U.S., there's probably a good chance that prepackaged ground beef you bought for your next barbecue contains pink slime. According to a 2012 ABC News expose, it said around 70% of ground beef sold in U.S. supermarkets contain pink slime. Now, pink slime is a meat byproduct used as a filler in ground beef to reduce fat content. It is prepared with ammonia gas and is an antimicrobial agent, which is dangerous for consumption. The FDA approved the pink goo for U.S. human consumption back in 2001. Chlorine-washed chicken. U.S. chicken has been banned in European Union since 1997. This squeaky chlorine-clean poultry have been forbidden from being served in European kitchens. Why? It's like the EU saying, sorry, chickens, no chemical baths allowed. Meanwhile, across the pond, it's a chicken spa day with chlorine galore. In the U.S., chicken is routinely washed in a chlorine solution before it is market ready. Chlorine-washed chicken doesn't sound very appetizing, does it? No. The EU's like, sorry, US, we prefer our chickens au naturel, not with the side of Clorox. Ractopamine-treated pork, swine with a secret sauce for lean muscle growth. Europe has decided to pass on the pork with extra protein, thanks. It's like pigs on steroids, but without the fanfare. Ractopamine is a feed additive used to promote lean muscle growth in pigs. However, its use is banned in many countries, including several in Europe. due to concerns about its impact on human health and animal welfare. U.S. pork banned in the European Union, Russia, and China. If you're wondering why pigs in the U.S. are much bigger than those in the rest of the world, ractopamine is your answer. Pigs are given ractopamine, an animal feed additive used to speed up weight gain and increase carcass leanness. The ractopamine additive is linked to major health issues both in animals and humans, which is probably why it is banned in more than 160 countries. Genetically modified meat, as if you need more to go with than the previous meat issues already talked about. Well, genetically modified meat, it's like Frankenstein's kitchen nightmares coming to life. The European Union has strict regulations on genetically modified organisms, GMOs, including GM crops and animals. As a result, GM meat is effectively banned in Europe unless it has gone through an extensive approval process. The EU is like the bouncer at the GMO party, keeping those modified munchies off the guest list. Meat from cloned animals. I know you would like that to be it, but wait, there's more. Meat from cloned animals is like something straight out of a sci-fi flick. Real talk. I know you're thinking, with just a little seasoning, you'll never know the difference. I mean, in America, the FDA's like clone meat. Sure, why not? In 2008, FDA approved cloned animal consumption despite Department of Agricultural concerns, concluding that meat and milk from cow, goat, and pig clones are fit to eat and does not need a special label to identify them in the marketplace, which means you may not know that you're buying is from a cloned animals or not, which is probably why the EU is giving them the side eye like, hold up, let's put a temporary ban on the clone zone. While not strictly banned, the European Union has imposed a temporary ban on the sale of meat and dairy products from cloned animals and their offspring due to ethical and animal welfare concerns. Now, everyone reserves the right to choose what meat they would prefer. I know it's hard sometimes to break old habits, especially when you're so used to doing things a certain way. Like most of us, it's been since our born day. Now, according to a report from A.T. Kearney Global Consultancy, in just 2 decades from now, 60% of Americans will eat meat from plant-based products or cell-based products due to several growing agriculture concerns worldwide.